I had to move from that leave of absence to deciding to leave IBM altogether. And at the age of 44, I found myself not only without a job, but an inability to get a full-time job because of my son's chronic needs and the school's frequent demands that I come on site to intervene and or take him home. To my surprise, I soon found that no insurance company would provide medical coverage for my family due to quote-unquote pre-existing conditions. Now, you'll have to remember that this was 2007, before the Affordable Health Care Act. As I continued to struggle with securing appropriate services within the public school system, and in an attempt to find answers, I entered the world of private child psychologists, psychiatrists, counselors, speech pathologists, occupational therapists, and their complex, unfamiliar terms. It was not only time-consuming and confusing, it was also very expensive, especially as a single divorced mom with 2 kids. Effective school solutions were slow in coming, and by the age of 46, I had tunneled through my entire 20 years worth of savings, and regrettably, I turned to my pension and 401k to support my family. By 2010, I filed bankruptcy and had to turn to public assistance in the form of food stamps and Medicaid. It was humiliating. During this time, I took on part-time consulting contracts because of the flexible hours and the significant amount of intervention still required with Alexander's school. I'd gone from a 6-figure income to poverty because of the necessity to save my son. During that time period, I began to do an extensive amount of research, attended every relevant workshop I could, and amassed a library of information. My intense focus and advocacy eventually paid off. The school system went from insisting that Alexander be isolated and receive special education services in a SED, which stands for severely emotionally disturbed classroom, to recommending that he be placed in all regular education classes with appropriate supports. Now, years later, Alexander is thriving academically and socially in a fully inclusive educational environment. His teachers are amazed at his positive social interactions, classroom contributions, and intellect. He has a part-time job, and he is on a trajectory to attend college when he graduates 2 years from now, if that's what my 16-year-old son wants to do. Over the last several years, I have attended various workshops and presentations to expand my knowledge of autism spectrum disorders, challenging behaviors, IEPs, FBAs, BIPs, and special education law. Some of these workshops and presentations were taught by leaders in the field: Tony Atwood, Temple Grandin, Jed Baker, Scott Bellini, Peter Wright, Paula Kluth, Brenda Smith Miles, and Patrick Swartz, just to name a few. As a result of my training and successful advocacy regarding Alexander, I have received several requests to present to district leaders, school administrators, regular education, and special education teachers within 3 different school districts. My presentations focus on supporting children with autism spectrum disorders in an inclusive environment and successfully collaborating with parents. Sometimes principals even refer parents to me for advice and borrow my materials for teacher education and to help students understand their classmates, those children with special needs. Over the course of since 2006, when we first entered this world of disability, I have faced a lack of understanding, judgment, and intolerance from my relatives, as well as within the African American community. I have faced condescending attitudes, ignorance, intolerance, and a lack of resources in both an urban school district as well as a suburban, predominantly white school district. In addition, in one suburban school, the police were called on my 5th grader 4 times because of his behavior. As a single low-income mom on welfare, I have dealt with stereotyping and have received unrealistic parenting recommendations from some well-intentioned individuals within the school system as well as from outside professionals. I have dealt with public criticism of my son by strangers and struggled with humiliation, guilt, fear, and inadequacy. And finally, because of my extensive quote-unquote hands-on consulting in urban schools, I now better understand some of the challenges from the perspective of the district leadership team, principal, regular, and special education teachers, parents, and students. Today, my relatives and friends have a greater understanding of ASD and are very supportive. I have a wonderful relationship with what I call Alexander's A-Team. That's my nickname for his IEP team. It is made up of his teachers, principal, district resources, and outside professionals. We work collaboratively with open communication, trust, and respect. And together we find creative solutions to meet Alexander's needs while not placing unrealistic burdens on the school, the teachers, or our family. I am passionate about sharing the knowledge I've gained in helping other families of students with ASD to find the right educational solutions and community supports for their child. Hi, my name is Deborah Knight, and because of the challenges that I had in finding out my son had a disability and the path that I had to go through to get him the service and supports he needed to receive a high-quality educational experience, the problems that I experienced within my family, my community, strangers, the school systems, outside supports, doctors, all of that, the financial devastation that I experienced in going from a six-figure income down to poverty and having to reach out for social services, I wrote this poem. I know why the caged bird screams. The Special Needs Mom, Common Challenges by Deborah Knight. Extended family. When they don't know that they don't know. He's manipulating you. Just spank his behind. We never see you at family get-togethers anymore. Let us help. Marital status. Marital strains. Mom as primary advocate, caretaker, intervention strategist. The reality of the stay-at-home mom and her multiple unpaid full-time jobs. Wow, it must be nice not to have to work. Divorce challenges. Mom is primary financial support as well as primary advocate, caretaker, intervention strategist. Consistency of care. So she didn't get her medication on time. What's the big deal? No, I haven't read that information you gave me. Siblings. Supporting the needs of our other children. Mom, why can't we stay? You never have time for me. The education system. Mom as an unpaid paraprofessional. Or just come get your kid. We're flexible. What's that about your boss? The inference of the overindulgent helicopter mom. Now, Mom, all she needs is more discipline and consequences here and at home. What's your husband saying? The IEP advocate / expert. What do you mean, 12 verses 1? We're on your side. By the way, do you know your ABCs, IEP, IDEA, NCLB, RTI, XYZs? All-day self-contained classrooms. Sanctioned segregation. It really is the best thing for them and their peers and the community to be separated. Besides, they're with their own kind. They have their own bathrooms, lunch periods, classrooms, and recess times. Isn't that wonderful? Life skills? Oh, is that a part of Common Core? Don't worry. We don't teach Common Core here, and I can promise you it's not on the state test. She'll be fine. Transition services? Yeah, of course we've got them. Wait, what exactly do you mean by independent living? Relax. He's got his diploma now, so what if all he does is play video games all day? At least he's not stressed out. Sheltered employment. We all know it's really the best option for their kind, but you can't expect equal pay or even minimum wage for the amount of work they do. Promotion to supervisor? Now, Mom, let's be realistic. Federal and state services, the handouts. Oh, the fun of being chastised by a 20-something with a high school diploma for mismanaging your finances. The catch-22 of a rise in income. A little more money, dignity, but not enough to pay for needed services for your child. You choose. The 7,000 plus waiting list. Be patient. We've got to balance the budget first. You understand? Bless your heart. You people just need to get up off your butts and go to work. What do you do all day? Therapy sessions, doctor's appointments, social skills training, IEP meetings, responding to school meltdowns, home interventions, disability advocacy research, and typical mom responsibilities for my other children. That's what I do. Healthcare providers, early, correct diagnosis and intervention. Are you sure you're not just imagining that? What's Dad saying? I don't see anything wrong that another pill can't fix. Besides, I really don't think your insurance will even pay for that type of diagnostic test, therapy, or intervention. Let me just write him a 6th prescription, and you should really think about getting something for your nerves and more rest. The community. Boy, if that were my child, listen, if you can't control your kid, we will. Better yet, just keep his behind at home. The Whispers, not just an ABC TV drama. I'm sure there are great services and places for their kind and charities that can help. Stop whining and look harder. The church. Welcome back. We've missed you. Shh. Here's a room you can take her to so you don't disturb worship service. Your mismanaging disqualifies you from charitable assistance from the church. No, the committee members aren't in their 20s. Why do you ask? Okay, but why are you so angry? Because my singing isn't working.